Hi, ladies and gentlemen, fellow traders. Welcome to another episode of Weekly Forex Outlook with Chart Engineering Pro. We really appreciate you for taking the time to watch this video, and we don't take you for granted at all. If you haven't yet subscribed or you are new to this channel, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any content we post here. And if you find value with what we share with you here, kindly like and comment. If you have any questions, you have any suggestions, drop your views in the comment section and share to your fellow traders or anyone who would find this information useful. So without wasting much time, let's have a quick recap of last week's setups discussed in our previous video before we dive into this week's analysis. So last week we shared this Euro-GBP trade. As we all know, last week was very volatile. The market was very crazy last week. The way it started off was massive. So we found price actually dropped to our second area of interest, and then we saw a change of structure or a structural shift on the 4-hour time frame. Price broke upwards and had a retest over the 4-hour structure point, and then gave a bullish engulfing, 4-hour bullish engulfing, and took off. We actually missed out on this trade, and we're looking forward to maybe a possible pullback to this. Sorry, we're looking forward to a possible pullback to this area of interest. And we can continue the buy to the upside for the coming week. We also had the DXY. Shared this DXY setup, and as you can see now, currently price is now bullish on a daily perspective. Price broke above this neckline, possible neckline, giving us something like a possible inverse head and shoulder. And so currently price has now pulled back into our area of interest, and we'll be looking forward to find buying opportunities to continue the buy to the upside for the coming week. And then we're expecting this head and shoulder on GBPUSD. So on GBPUSD, price actually broke out from the neckline with a very high momentum, and we never got a retest back into the area of interest. So we're looking forward to this retest into this area of interest or this neckline to get a selling opportunity to the downside. And to this trade, Russell 2000, we took a loss on this trade last week. Yeah, so we're looking forward to a possible deep cap pattern. Price broke out of this 4-hour structure, came back for a pullback, gave us our entry signal, which is the 4-hour bullish engulfing here, and then bought for a while, and then price just kept dipping after CPI after FOMC was released. So we're entirely wrong on this trade. So let's get into the business of the day, what we have for the coming week. So we are going to look at the economic calendar, and on Monday we have the Swiss franc, the CHFJPY, and on same Monday we have a Canadian bank holiday. So it's a bank holiday for the Canadian dollar, or let's say for in Canada actually. And then on Tuesday there's a ISM services PMI for the USD, and the same Tuesday, right after market opens in the night or the Asian session, we have the employment change and unemployment rate for the New Zealand dollar. And then on Wednesday, there's no high impact news on Wednesday. So going to Thursday, we have this high impact news which we have to really take caution of, which is the Bank of England monetary policy report, and or the official bank rate for the GBP, the British pound. And this news really comes with a lot of volatility, so we have to take caution of it. And then on Friday we have the Canadian employment change and unemployment rate. So let's quickly jump into the charts. So this week, this is DXY. So on the daily time frame, on the daily perspective, we have price breaking above this structural point, this weekly structural point, which now signifies that price is actually bullish now on a daily perspective, and the price has now retraced back into an area of interest or a possible neckline to continue the buy to the upside. So going into next week, we'll be looking forward to buying opportunities in this area of interest. Buying opportunities from this area of interest to the upside, or come to the second area of interest below and look for buying opportunities like an inverted head shoulder, a double bottom, or a bullish engulfing, or anything that will show us or give us clear signs that price wants to buy to the upside. And if you look at this critically, on a weekly perspective, price actually still wick this structural point. So on a daily perspective, price is on DXY is bullish, but the weekly time frame still remains bearish, because this was a very big wick that came down and it never closed above this weekly structural point. So on a weekly perspective, price on DXY is still bearish, but on the daily time frame, price is bullish. So what I'm seeing here, we are not to predict much, but we have to be we don't have to be predictive, we have to be more reactive to the market. But what I'm seeing here is a possible inverse head and shoulder on a very huge time frame. So I'm anticipating something like this. And as we know, DXY is currently at a very strong support area, which we'll be expecting a very long-term buy from. So I'm expecting something like an inverse head and shoulder, something huge. So this would be like the head, this would be the possible right shoulder. Price breaks above, gets a retest, and continues to the upside. So I'm anticipating this for DXY in the coming weeks. And by then, in the interim, let's look out for these buys on the daily time frame for DXY. So we're looking out for buying opportunities from either this zone or the second zone below. And we move to the Japanese yen index. So the Japanese yen index now has given us a clear sign or a very strong bullish momentum, indicating that it actually wants to buy to complete this 4-hour crab pattern that we identified in our previous videos. So this is a crab pattern that developed on the Japanese yen index. So going into next week, we'll be looking out for a possible pullback to this area of interest. Give us a bullish opportunity or bullish signs. We buy to this first TP or the TP1 and potentially continue the buys to the TP2. So this is what we'll be looking out for on the Japanese yen index, the JPY basket or the Japanese yen index. So to the next. So we have EURNZD here. So just as we saw on DXY, on the daily perspective, we have a bearish euro now on a daily perspective, but on the weekly perspective, euro USD is still bullish, because we have this long or big wick over here, which shows that the weekly candle never closed below that structural point. So we are still bullish on euro USD on the weekly perspective, but bearish on the daily perspective. So going into next week, we'll be looking forward to a reaction from possibly this zone and sell to the downside, or we have a possible reaction at the second zone above and find selling opportunities to the downside. So I am bearish on the US dollar for the coming week. So for what we had on Gbpjpy USD last week, we're anticipating this head and shoulder, and now price has formed cleanly for us to be able to take advantage of it. So what we should be looking forward to in the coming week is that we'll be expecting price to pull back to this area of interest or the neckline, give us a bearish sign and sell to the downside. So I'm bearish on Gbpjpy USD for the coming week. This is a similar setup on NZDUSD. It's also a similar head and shoulder that we'll be looking at. So if we switch to the line chart, you can see it clearly on the line chart. You can see this left shoulder, we have the head, we have the right shoulder. So we're expecting price to sell to the downside. So what we'll be expecting is a possible retest to this zone, just like GBPUSD. Possible retest to this zone, look for selling opportunities to the downside, and we have this point as our TP1, and then this second area of interest as our TP2. So these are our two targets for NZDUSD. And then also on USDCAD. USDCAD is currently forming a deep crab pattern on a 4-hour time frame. So this is it. This is our X, our A, our B leg, our C leg, and our potential D leg for the completion of the deep crab pattern. So going into next week, we'll be looking forward to a pullback into this area of interest, give us a bullish reaction, a bullish confirmation, and we take the buys from here to complete this deep crab pattern on USDCAD. And we have EURNZD. EURNZD has currently shifted bullish. We had this zone from our previous videos or one of our previous episodes, and currently price has shifted bullish strongly to the bullish side. So we'll be looking forward to a possible pullback into this area of interest to continue the buys to the upside. So we're looking forward to a possible pullback to this zone, get a bullish confirmation, and continue the buys to the upside. So this is EURNZD. So I'm bullish on EURNZD. Then we have CHFJPY. So if you look at the previous analysis on the JPY basket, the JPY basket is expected to be bullish. So if that's the case, all the XXXJPY pairs will be seeing some sales on XXXJPY pairs. And as you can see, CHFJPY has actually formed a 4-hour butterfly pattern. So this is our X, this is our A, this is our B, this is our C, and the completion of the pattern here as our D leg. So we're expecting price to sell to complete the deep crab pattern. So we should be looking for sales to the downside. We should be looking for sales to the TP1 or the TP2 to complete the butterfly pattern, the daily time frame or the 4-hour butterfly pattern. So going into next week, I'll be looking forward to a possible pullback to this zone, look for selling opportunities and sell to complete this butterfly pattern. Or on the daily perspective, we'll look for a structural shift on a daily time frame, create a new lower low, give us a lower high, and then we'll look for a selling opportunity to the downside to complete this butterfly pattern. But looking at how the momentum is, I'd rather stick to the TP1 instead of the TP2. The TP2 seems too far away, so I think the safest target will be the TP1 for CHFJPY. And we have Gbpjpy. Gbpjpy has now shifted bearish. Actually, last week we were looking for potential head and shoulder here. It formed, but the momentum to the downside was not too strong. I think because of the news that was coming up on Friday, price had to consolidate. The momentum was very low, so we had a very strong pullback, and the price just dipped after NFP. So going into the coming week or going into next week, we're looking forward to a possible pullback to this area of interest and sell all the way down to this area of interest on Gbpjpy. So I'm very bearish on Gbpjpy in the coming week. So we have Australian dollar, Swiss franc, so AUDCHF. AUDCHF has currently reacted, or is currently creating something like a double top on an area of interest, and it's actually very bearish. The structure is very bearish, so we are looking forward to a structural break. The first option is we are looking forward to a daily time frame closure, a daily candle closure below this zone, come for maybe a deeper pullback, or pull back to this structural point and sell to this TP. Or the second option is, if you look at the 4-hour time frame, there's something developing here like a head and shoulder on the 4-hour time frame. So our second option will be that so this is the head and shoulder, this is the head, and this is the left shoulder, head, and the right shoulder. So going into next week, we can look forward to a possible pullback here to somewhere around this area and get a selling opportunity to the downside, or a pullback to this area, get a selling opportunity to break this structural point on a daily perspective, or give us a daily candle closure. We get a retest of this daily structure, a possible daily structure, and then we continue the sales to the downside. So I'm very bearish on AUDCHF. Then we have gold. So as we discussed last week, we explained that gold is actually forming a possible deep crab pattern on the 4-hour time frame, and this pattern can only be invalidated if price actually breaks below this low, or if we get a weekly candle closure below this zone, then we'll be convinced that gold wants to sell. But after NFP, we can clearly see this 4-hour structural shift. So going into next week, we'll be expecting a pullback to this zone to give us a buying opportunity. Pullback to this zone, give us a buying opportunity, and we buy to the upside. And gold has a potential of creating a new all-time high if this deep crab pattern should. If this deep crab pattern plays out. But then if you are taking this buy to play it safe, you can take your first TP at the highs of this pattern. You can take your first TP here, and then you can hold the rest of your positions to complete the 4-hour deep crab pattern around 3,577, or let's say around 3,600 USD per ounce. So this is the pattern I'm talking about. This is our X, this is our A, this is our B leg, this is our C leg. We are looking forward to a potential D leg. So I'm very bullish on gold for the coming week. The only way this can be invalidated is if price comes all the way, breaks below this low, give us a retest and keep selling to the downside. That way we are going to be bearish on gold, but until then we are very bullish on gold, and we are expecting a potential deep crab pattern formation on gold for the coming week. Let's go to the next. We have natural gas. XNGUSD. Natural gas is very bearish now, and so we were looking for selling opportunities. We are looking forward to a possible pullback into this area of interest, and find selling opportunities to sell all the way down to this side. So we are bearish on the natural gas. This is for the commodity traders. So anyone who is interested in these commodities, this is for you. So this is natural gas. Natural gas is very bearish now. So this selling opportunity can only be invalidated if we get a daily candle break above this structural point. Get a daily candle break, get a retest, and continue to the upside. That way we're going to be bullish. But until then, if price gives us a selling opportunity around these areas, or around this area, sorry, we're going to look for a selling opportunity to the downside. So that's it for natural gas. To the next, we have US 30. So looking at the strength of the DXY, most of the indices switch to a bearish momentum. So as you can see now, on the weekly time frame on USD, price has actually shifted bearish. This strong bearish and engulfing candle on the weekly time frame. So switching to the daily time frame, onto next week, we'll be looking out for these two areas to get selling opportunities. We'll be looking out for price to pull back to this first zone, give us a bearish reaction and sell to this side, or we'll wait for price to move to the second zone above around this side, look for selling opportunities and continue the sell. And this can only be invalidated if price breaks above this high, create a new higher high, and continues to the upside. But until then, price is bearish now on USD. Then we have UK100. So UK100 is forming a double top, giving us a double top formation. And so we're waiting for a daily candle break below the zone, a daily candle break below the zone. Wait for a retest to this, wait for a retest in this area of interest and take a sell to the downside. So this is what we'll be looking out for this is what we are looking out for UK100 or FTSE 100. So this is this is the possible double top we have for FTSE 100. So I'm also bearish on the FTSE 100. So all we need to wait for is a daily candle break below this structural point and wait for a pullback and sell to the downside. So onto the last pair, we have the Australian 200. The Australian 200 is also forming a double top, giving us a double top formation. And for that one, price has actually already broken or closed below the neckline. So going into next week, we'll be looking forward to this retest or retest into this zone before selling opportunities here and sell to the downside. If you were able to stick to this video to this point, thank you so much for your time. And I will also encourage all of us to apply proper risk management to our trades and trade safe and sound. I wish us all a profitable and a fruitful week. Don't forget to like and drop your comments and share to your fellow traders or anyone that will find this information useful. Thank you, and I'll see you on another episode. Have a nice time. Bye bye.